Have you ever watched the Broadway musical Hamilton? I have, and let me tell you, it's an amazing musical. Hamilton tells the history of early America through the life of Alexander Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton had an adventurous life throughout his childhood, his adulthood, and even after his death. According to the Korean J. O'Keefe 2024 article, Alexander Hamilton, by George Washington's Mount Vernon website, it states that Hamilton was born on January 11, 1755, or 1757. No one really knows when he was born because he has two different sets of birth records. Hamilton was born in Charlestown on the British islands of Nevis. He lived with his brother, his father, and his mother until he was 10 years old when his father, James Hamilton, left them. 2 years later, his mother, Rachel Fawcett, died of an illness, and he was sent off to live with his cousin. Later on, a hurricane hit their town, and Hamilton wrote about it. And when people saw his article, they thought that he was really smart and good at writing. So they sent him off to New Jersey to continue his education. After New Jersey, he went to King's College, now Columbia University, where he was studying. Unfortunately, he was interrupted by the revolt against British, and Hamilton fought in the Revolutionary War. He was an artillery comp and led a Continental Army. Although being in the Army brought Hamilton many benefits that he never would have thought of, George Washington invited Hamilton to be a part of his staff, and he made Hamilton a lieutenant colonel. As Hamilton and Washington were getting closer, Hamilton became Washington's most valuable staff member. During this time, Hamilton met Elizabeth Schuyler, who he wrote letters to, got married, and had 8 children with. After the Battle of Yorktown, Hamilton moved to New York to practice law. During this time, Hamilton was invited to the Constitutional Convention. According to Alexander the Coast 2024 article, Alexander Hamilton by the Encyclopedia Britannica website, it states that Hamilton joined forces with John James and James Madison to write a series of essays named the Federalist Papers. Together, they were going to write a total of 25 essays, but in the end wrote a total of 85 essays. Hamilton wrote 2/3 of those essays with a total of 51 essays. George Washington made Hamilton the first Secretary of Treasury. In this time, Hamilton created our first national bank of the United States and a stable financial system. Hamilton had many opponents throughout his life, the main ones being Aaron Burr, James Madison, and Thomas Jefferson. Although Hamilton had many great things going for him, all great things must come to an end. Hamilton was involved in the United States' first prominent sex scandal, where he released a series of articles revealing that he had an affair with a married woman. These are called the Reynolds pamphlet. Shortly after, Hamilton lost his firstborn son, Philip Hamilton, in a duel with George Eaker in an attempt to defend his father's name. In 1804, Aaron Burr lost his run for government for New York, and he read in an article that Hamilton was speaking bad on his name, so he confronted Hamilton through a letter. Once he noticed that Hamilton wasn't backing down, he challenged Hamilton to a duel. On July 11, 1804, Aaron Burr shot Alexander Hamilton, and the next day Hamilton passed away. Eliza Hamilton did her best to keep his legacy, along with many other founding fathers' legacies, alive. In conclusion, Alexander Hamilton is known for the great things he did for our nation throughout his childhood, adulthood, and even after his death. Hamilton, the musical, does a great way of telling early America's history throughout the whole play. I'll leave you with a quote of Alexander Hamilton from the musical Hamilton. I am the one thing I can control. I am inedible. I am an original.